and welcome to a brand new episode of the Youth Have a Voice podcast. In today's episode, I am joined with Ayomide Iwalaiye, and he is the founder of the MAI Foundation, and he's a multifaceted leader dedicated to youth empowerment, sustainable development, and poverty reduction. He's also the founder and CEO of Bolycthier, which is a luxury clothing brand. And also, as I've mentioned before, he's the co founder of the MAI Foundation, which is a global youth organization targeting extreme poverty in the global south. His roles include the Global Youth Ambassador at Their World, the chair of the West Africa Sustainability Week, and positions within the UNFCCC Youth Constituency, the Paris Committee on Capacity Building, and the WHO Partnership for Maternal, Newborn, and Child Health. He also contributes to several global platforms such as the Unite 2030, the World Health Summit, the CYMG UNEP, and he is also involved with the World Economic Forum and Forbes L Black Community. He is also the technical member of the UNCCD Youth Caucus, the UNMGCY, the United Nations Association, and the World Food Forum. He's committed to youth engagement and empowerment, demonstrated through initiatives like the West Africa Sustainability Week, the World Health Summit, the Global Learn to Earn Summit, and he aims to lift at least 1 million people out of extreme poverty and provide quality education opportunities for at least 50 million people by 2030. His goal is to create opportunities for others through scientific and economic empowerment, fostering the next generation of scientists and solution providers to undeserved communities. Wow. You're definitely one of the guests I've had that have so much to say about themselves, and I find it really commendable. This is honestly, this is really impressive. You're probably one of the guests I've had that have so many things that I've read out when I introduced them. But apart from what I've said, is there any other thing you would like us to know about you?
All right. I think I'll just speak on the fun facts outside of career and professional thing. I think first, I'm still a student. A lot of people, when they see the profile, they'll think like this guy is like 1 billionaire or 1 million. He's still a student. He's still a student. Just that you must think. Don't just think big. Think bigger, if possible, biggest thing. There's anything like that. So I'm still a student and I'm also a Christian. So all of this was, I think we'll still go to that, but all of this, like the foundation of it, were my relationship with Jesus. So that's where everything started from. I believe we're still going to discuss about this, but another fun fact, I would say, I also have a YouTube channel. Like I'm also a YouTuber. I miss
Okay.
all of this. I missed all of these titles and positions. I'm also a YouTuber, so you can also check out my YouTube page for some um, interesting content. So over to you, Feolami.
Okay. Personally, you also concluded what was known as the Global Leadership Summit that had over 3,000 participants join in from different parts of the world. That was personally how I discovered you, basically to ask you to join this podcast. I was privileged to be a moderator for one of the sessions, and honestly, when I saw, because I saw the advert for applying for to be a speaker moderator through their world, because I'm also a global youth ambassador. So I remember when I saw it, I first of all thought this person must be a very old man or someone who is really, really old. That was my first thought. So when I now got accepted and then I received the email, I now saw the person that I came from, which was you. And then I went on your LinkedIn profile and then I was looking. I saw the year. I said, you're still in university. So this person is young. That was the first thought that came to my head that this is a young person. How the hell has this guy been able to do so much at such a young age? And honestly, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be part of this session, but I definitely want to have you on the podcast, which was why I thought you would be a really good addition. So
Yeah.
I like how so far you have said that I'm a Christian also. You have said that your foundation of this started from your relationship with Jesus Christ. But what would you say was the biggest reason you decided to start the MIA Foundation, and what was the genesis? Where did it all begin from?
All right. If you know Mr. Theophilus, Theophilus Sunday, one of his song, There is prophecy over me. So I believe that this thing just, even though May Foundation was founded in 2022, like the passion, the drive, the vision has been there since I was very young. Like when I was like in secondary school, and I think this was let me just take it back, like take it a story. So when I finished high school in 2016, so I had the privilege to be like I got admission to study abroad, and I was denied visa first time, second time, third time. So you know what you pass through during those times. So those times were like building blocks. Like my prayer life, study life, everything was like the building block, relationship building, like capacity building. Let's just tag everything as capacity building when those period. That 3 years gap you saw before high school and Unilag. So then I got into University of Lagos. Still had no clue of what was going to happen. We just had that vision that we're going to do something very major, like to the world, impact lives, but we didn't know how. I didn't know how. I think that's one interesting thing about God. He'll show you the vision, but you have to come for Him for each action and each step to get to that vision. So now 2022, like I said, I'm a Christian. I everything you see today, everything to be honest, everything you see today that a lot of people from across the globe, even older than me, people that already have like companies are like still requesting to speak or partner with me. Everything came from a place of prayer. It's as simple as that. Everything came from a place of this is not religious fanaticism or kind of this is I'm telling the plain truth. Everything came from a place of prayer. So I'll just be praying and just receive this. And one thing is that once I receive, I act on it immediately. Immediately. I don't waste time. Once I receive, I act on it immediately. Once I receive, I act on it immediately. You must have seen that there are some plans also after GLS. There are some plans that will be carried out.
Yeah.
Soon you see them. So then May Foundation, the well, from the place of prayer, like everything was just prearranged. That what I would say. Everything was prearranged, and I was just like falling in alignment through like my spirit place, falling in alignment with what God has prepared already. So now to 2022, how May Foundation was founded. So from the place of prayer, like my LinkedIn was like the foundation also. My LinkedIn, I started in 2022 now. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you see I have over 50 online certificates from WHO, from Harvard, from Stanford. So that the capacity, I think this is what young people need to know. Like you don't just become um, something one day. Like the the capacity has to take place first. You have to either spiritually or like careerly or professionally, you have to be built first. Like you have to go through the process first before the making. So I took courses every week. I ensure that I took at least two, three courses and I get the certificate before Friday, that 2022. So like that, like I was building my mindset, building my capacity to the extent that I think from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that was what May Foundation also was inspired to be. Even down to the logo, I received it from place of prayer. It's really very amazing. So also, one thing also, all of the skills I've gotten through my volunteering, through my service, and all of that were all that's what I'm using now. Like volunteering in church as a media person, volunteering this thing, all of that, all the skill I've acquired throughout all of those process are what are now like playing as the major soft and hard skill in building the foundation. So Make Foundation started as a WhatsApp group, to be honest. Make Foundation started as a WhatsApp group, a WhatsApp group, just two people. Just to, I think you should also make research on going to the foundation of Main Foundation, like the foundation of Main Foundation, like how we started. It was a WhatsApp group. just two people. And those two people, I am the co-founder because there's no how you have the vision to save the whole world from hunger. You still need people. Even Jesus Christ needed the 12. So you need people to work with you. So I needed a co-founder. That was during the August Congress, no, convention. So I attended RCCG, the convention, and God just orchestrated it. I just met someone. I didn't even know how. I don't know. We just met, and immediately I just shoot immediately after the convention that would you love to be co-founder of this project? And immediately say yes. And we started building, working together, and like that, I shared to my friends, those that would love to be a part of it. She shared also like that. We grew from two to I think about six, seven, eight. So immediately like that, we created, and from that time, this is another thing. From that time, I saw a global MAI Foundation. From the onset, I didn't see MAI Foundation Lagos. I didn't see MAI Foundation Unilag. I didn't see MAI Foundation Nigeria. I saw MAI Foundation worldwide. The group is still there till today. MAI Foundation worldwide, MAI Foundation global. So from onset, I saw a global project, a global initiative. And immediately, I'm sure those people, those that joined, I told you from where I got the vision from. So you must know that it's valid. So those people that joined, they were saying, this guy is too, what should I call the word? Is he optimistic? No. Like, is it futuristic? But like they were, it's too, like his vision is just too, he's like pressing on his vision. He does not want to even
Ambitious.
care what, very, yeah, ambitious. So he does not even want to care what the current state is, whether he's still a student, whether I think he's seen the goal, and like that, fast forward, jump to now where we have over 41 chapters, over 1,000 volunteers in about 40 countries, and a global community of about 5,000. Now to the recent events of GLS, where we had about 3,000 registrants, either as speakers, moderators, delegates, and from 70 plus countries. This has been our largest event yet, and we hope our coming event this year goes beyond that. I think that's okay. Hopefully.
Ayomide, this is really huge, honestly. It is really, really huge. And I am really proud of you, even though I barely know you, but I am really proud of what you've been able to achieve so far. I think something that I personally related to was when you spoke about getting admission abroad. So as I mentioned while we did the introduction, I'm doing online school. I wasn't able to go physically because of few dates. So I wasn't able to get a date that would suffice for the period in time for my admission. So I was first of all on a gap year, and my gap year was only meant to be for 1 year, and my school was only willing to hold my admission for 1 year. And unfortunately, even though I had gotten a futuristic date, ended up postponing my date again, and then I was now not able to what's the word called? I was now not able to go to the school I wanted to go to originally. But as you've said, there's a reason for everything. The vision, God's vision for your life is different from what you think will end up happening. And I think it definitely goes a long way in helping you and guiding you. So, as I was saying, I believe that there's a reason that everything happens. God's plan is always different from what you think yours would be, which is why you have to be very prayerful, and you have to call upon Him to understand what He wants you to do. So I really resonated with that while you were speaking. But I'm a bit curious. Why did you decide to call your foundation the MAI Foundation? What does it stand for? Is there a meaning?
It's actually my name. You know my name, no?
Ayomide.
So marvelous. First, yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
Ayomide Iwalaiye. Okay. But I've been
yeah.
trying to find out what exactly, because I kept on checking on the internet, see if anything came from nothing. I didn't see anything. So I was a bit confused on what exactly it meant. Ah, okay. I like that. Okay. So the Global Leadership Summit that you recently concluded, why did you decide to do it? Is it a subsidiary of the MIA Foundation? And what exactly was your motivation behind it?
All right. So, um, coming through from like crossing to a new year, there will be like new inspirations, new ideas and initiatives to launch. So I don't want it to be a frequent thing, but that's just the truth. It's still for the place of prayer. I was praying and I received that go and launch Global Leadership Summit. And let me also break this down. So anytime I receive like this, I do not know how. Like how it's going to happen, I don't know. Who, I don't know. Where, I don't know. All I just do is take it step by step, and everything just begin to link to each other. So all I just do is take actions and first from place of prayer. So after I believe it's an instruction, I believe also like me behind the scene, seeing everyone that came together. I personally, I believe it's a solemn assembly because like majority of the speakers were believers, and I don't think it's a very common thing,
Mm,
even to the extent that everyone was free, they were free like proclaiming their faith, and I believe it's a solemn assembly too, because like we are taking the world by storm, not just the entertainment space, all aspects, all sector. We are coming in strong, we're coming in better than ever before. And the kingdom of God will reign. Oh,
amen. Thank you very much. While you were planning for the MIA Foundation, no, for the Global Leadership Summit, what would you say were some of the challenges that you faced while preparing for it? And did you
all
ever
right.
think it
So,
was going to get this big?
did we expect it to get this big?
Yeah, so what were the challenges you faced, and did you ever think it was going to get this big?
All right. To get this big, number one thing also, I don't limit anything because I've seen what the vision is. So all of this we are doing, let me just also say this. They are still like tutorials to the main thing that is still to come. So they are still like tutorials. So when it goes, even though we have 10,000 registrants, it's still not enough. Like there's still more. There's still more. So we going beyond 70 plus countries and having over 3,000 registrants. I was expecting it, so it was not. I
Mm,
was expecting it because I don't limit. Anytime, as far as it's not my vision, like I received it. It
mm,
is mine that I did it myself, my idea, my hair. You can say be 100, 500. But once I receive like this, I don't limit the engagement. It goes beyond my expectations. So I've kept that track record. Now the challenge is now seeing, because we had an evaluation post summit evaluation meeting with the planning committee yesterday. And one major thing we saw, there was still some loopholes, like area we discussed majorly on the area of improvements from like representative from Guyana, from US, from Ethiopia. These were the major speakers. And one thing they recognized was the speakers and moderators coordination. We didn't have time for that. Like there
mm,
were no meetings to collaborate. There were no meetings to like synergize because just like we had a number of GYAs, and some of these GYAs are, I think 70% are students. So
yeah.
like they are not experienced, they don't have, though they have experience with like their local initiative and regional and school, but like a global where the world is watching. So like some of the comments were that those with experience, because we had number of people that were real professionals. I think we had for session one, she has her own TV show,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, as was a moderator for Session One. She has her own TV show in the UK, and she has her own company and all of that. So, like, all of these people can mentor the new and young people because the age bracket were 13 to 30. So, these experienced people. So, this was what we noted down, and we hope in our coming events for the year we're able to bridge that gap. And for 2025, we started planning also. Hopefully, we hold it in Washington DC. And so, apart from that, like what resulted to that is not enough capacity. Though we had about 120 people from at least I think about 30 countries that volunteered, including yourself, to be part of the planning committee member, like either as second choice or first choice. But still, they were not committing. I think you were on most of the calls. You can see the numbers that were on the meeting were below 30, but we
Yeah.
had about 120 that showed interest to be a part of the planning committee. Now, those that were on the call to discuss like action points, we still have like half of those people doing the main work. So we have about 120 to 150 that showed interest to be a part of the planning committee. Only about less than 30
Sure.
joined the planning committee, like the meetings, and only about 15 were taking actions. So that was because during the GLS, oh, I think I worked daily. I think I worked about 10 hours straight.
Oh wow.
I had to I had to take a break from school, take a break from everything and just focus like every day back to back. Like when the GLS was over, like I just went on a break that weekend. I just went on a break. Like I don't want to receive any mail, any call, any just give me a break. So that's like the host, the chair of planning committee. We need like capacity. Like some of the events that are still upcoming for the year. That's one thing we need to work on. Since 150 will show interest, we should look for more people, if possible 300, and then cut it down. Maybe we can have 50 active people that were joining. So those were the major concerns and like the major challenge we faced. And there was one challenge we faced, but I don't see it as a challenge. Like the first day, like people were very optimistic and they like a lot of people were joining and some speakers were not able to join the Zoom call because the capacity reached.
Was
But
to
I don't see it. The capacity was filled to the brim, but I don't see it as a. I see it as a challenge that yes, we are getting there and we need to do more. And though we created a second platform, which was YouTube, so I think we balanced it. It's just that next time we should try to create room for, if possible, 1,000 to 3,000 that can be live on the Zoom call. So those were the major challenges we faced and were discussed also yesterday during the post-summit planning committee meeting. So yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Ayomide. I think another thing that I realized is that the internet is the easiest way to bridge the gap between people. And I think most of the work you have been able to do has been as a result of how far social media and the internet has come. So far, how would you say that your change making journey has been able to progress through the use of social media and the internet?
All right. So how? So those that are watching right now, how are you watching us through
Through the
social media?
internet, yes.
Through the internet. How did I become like MAI Foundation was founded on the internet, established on the internet, network like on the internet. Till today, we don't have a physical building yet. And all we do is on the internet, Google Workspace to Google Drive to all of that. All we do is on the internet, to the social media platforms, to Slack platforms, to Discord and all of that, to the link tree, to everything, to website, everything's on the internet. So I think the internet is the future. Since 2022 till present, we've been working virtual, like fully virtual, even though we have some initiatives that were physical, like so Ayomide Iwalaiye, how you got to know him is through the internet. So I think we also need to balance it because just the way the internet is causing a lot of good for others, it's also causing the other side for others. So I think getting exposed to the internet at an early age is very like is the future, but getting it right for like for the right purpose is very key.
Yeah.
So I believe if I had gotten access to LinkedIn or just like that Nitia Lohia, 12-year-old, just watch what she will do in the next 10 years. Just watch
Definitely, definitely.
just watch what Nitia will do.
She's so enthusiastic. I was seeing her in every social media comment. I was like, what is going on? This girl, she's going to
Exactly.
different places.
In the next 10 years, when she'll be 22, just watch what she'll be doing. So exactly if I had the opportunity to start way earlier, got access to the internet to a PC and all of these platforms. Maybe when I was 9, 8. Today, maybe I'll be special advisor to the president of the US, or maybe one of the youngest advisor to the UN, to the Secretary General. So, like getting access to all of this to this tool, this is a very strategic change, life changing tool. But getting it for the right purpose is very key because a lot of people are they've gotten a lot of bad habits, bad influence
Yeah.
from the internet also that have been like cause destructive patterns in their behaviors, moral issues and all of that, even down to legal issues. So getting it right, getting it early, getting access to this early is very key. But getting it for the right purpose
Yeah.
is also very key. And I don't like to exclude. I think the Holy Spirit can help us when we
Mm.
put children, because these are the future.
Yeah.
And this is what MAI Foundation will also focus on. These are the future. Once we get them to know God first, we can lead them to the world. They will do wonders. So just
Definitely.
like I'm seeing from my experience first, the first thing like God helped my parent with was knowing God first, and that has helped everything else. And I believe if we can get more people like this, we will take over the world for God.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I was a bit curious when you spoke about the internet. What age did you start using the internet? Because as I've told you, I'm 18. I started using the internet quite early because I had access to social media. So when I was in primary school, my friends had Musically and all. So had access to the internet through that. And then I used to play games a lot on the internet when I was younger. When I was younger, I wouldn't say I was this passionate about some of the things. My passion started when I was like maybe 10, 11, 12, thereabouts. But I think I had access to internet when I was maybe 7, 8, 9, thereabouts. But it was guided access. So what age would you say you kind of began to have access to internet and social media?
Social media and internet, I would say, I think when I was in junior secondary school, I
Okay.
was, I was, I was, I was also young. I think I was the youngest graduating from my high school and also the BGS, the best graduating. So
Oh,
I would, I would say 8, 9, 10 also. 8, 9, 10, 11. I graduated at the age of 14. So 8, 9, let's just say 10, 11. I had access
okay.
to the internet. And
Okay.
that time was Facebook to go. God of heaven, can't imagine what we used to go for. So it was to go, but if looking back now, I see it as a waste of time. I see it as a waste. Like if I had gotten access to LinkedIn, all of this platform, doing all of this from that time, oh Lord, but
Um,
glory
I
to God.
I opened my LinkedIn account when I was maybe 16 or no, 17. I opened my LinkedIn account at 17. So that was basically when I decided to start using LinkedIn. And yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, I always feel like everything has a reason for happening. So even though I feel like if I started earlier, I definitely would have gotten further than I have gotten now. But at the end of the day, it's not a race, you get. So everything is
Yeah.
at its own time, it's a building block. So even though I started LinkedIn at 17, I think even at that age, I've still been able to do so much despite. Was it seven? No, I was 16. I was 16 when I started LinkedIn. 16, not 17.
I started LinkedIn in 2022. Yeah, just two
Okay.
years ago.
2 years ago. Okay, I
Two,
started in 2022
yeah,
also. Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Everything has its own timing. That's what I feel. So I feel like even
Exactly.
though I was a big consumer of the internet before I started to use it to actually help me advance myself. So even with my consumerism, as early as it was, I still feel like it has kind of helped me understand how other people think. Because I was a consumer, I know how a consumer thinks at the end of the day. And I think previously you mentioned something about the harmful sides of technology and social media and the internet. So for youth, what do you think they need to do in order to stay safe, and how can they use the internet to help them? And have there been any challenges you have personally faced while using social media or the internet? And what would you advise that they should do to basically be safe and use it properly for their advantage?
All right. I think I pointed this out earlier that once we get like this is a mindset, like a war. Like I've done a lot of learning and a lot of learning and wisdom seeking. So as a leader, you must seek for wisdom. So, and I found out that you have to be on. It's a two-side thing. It's either you're on God's side or you're on the devil's side. This is what I've seen through all of. I'm still young, but I don't say through all of my experience, but through all of my journey, this is it. So whether you are a billionaire or a millionaire, you are advancing one of these you are advancing one of these. Whether you are Bill Gates or you are Vusi Tembo, you are advancing one of these, either God's agenda or the devil's agenda. And we might think this is like a religious thing, but it's very, very simple. You like I recently I think I saw where there was a cartoon and I can't remember the title of the cartoon. And a female was telling another female that I've been trying to tell you this, and then they've just propagated an agenda of lesbianism already, like in a cartoon. They didn't wear a devil mask or this thing. It's just as simple as that. So same thing also for God that people like advancing. So it's just a simple thing of mindset, like creating a mindset that is towards this, creating a mindset that is towards this. So it's not a religious or this is a real life. This is what people have. I think a lot of millions of people have just think this is a religion. This is not religion. This is our life. It's either you're on God's side or you're on the devil's side, and it's not any form of this thing. It's a very strategic battle that has been happening for a very long time. So when we talk about propagating the kingdom of God, it's like making people think God way. It's even beyond church. It's making people think like God way, making people impact other people good, like in a positive way, showing love. As simple as love is, people might say it's something else. That's God's agenda. So one thing I was like I stated earlier, like is to get the children very early to have God mindset. If you can have this, nothing can sway you. Nothing. If you can have this, there's a backing you will get. I think this is what like we should help other young people because my YouTube channel also is focused on people younger than I am and to help them build truth. It's not just podcast or vlogs or like through different any means I can just get to reach them, like just get to reach them because those are the future. These guys, like the older people, they have just like 30, 40, 50 years and they're gone. But these people, they are the interlink to the next generation. They
Yes.
have direct link to the unborn generation that we don't even know what's going to happen to them. So we must ensure that we build them and create this mindset that is focused on God, propagating God, getting others saved, and all of that. So if we have this foundation,
Mm.
then we would use planet for a very good cause.
Yeah, I completely agree. I realized recently that the next generation starts next year. And honestly, that makes me feel very old, even though I'm very young, because the winner just entered Gen Alpha. That's what I feel at the back of my head. But the next generation starts in 2025. So that shows how old, quote unquote, we are getting. And it's important that we empower young people so that they can also get to the places they need to get to because as you've said the older generation they have just a few more years, maybe 2 or 3 4 decades left before they are gone, and then we are the ones who are now seen as the old people. So yeah, I completely agree that we need to be able to help the younger generation and guide them through God and guide them so that they can basically go in the right pathway and they are not really confused on how exactly they should go, also while empowering them at the same time. So as we wrap up, I would just like to know, and I think basically what you're studying in university, I wouldn't say it has anything to particularly do with what you currently do, because I can't remember what you are studying, but when I don't remember. I know it's something related to science, but I was looking at your degree. I was looking at the pathway you're aligned with. So why did you decide to study? I don't remember. What are you studying?
I'm studying health related health education, public health.
Health education. Yes, so health education and
Oh, did
your
you get me?
empowerment journey. How exactly do you think they interline, or why did you decide to go through that pathway?
All right, so since studies came before MAI Foundation, so I had to, should I say, first, it started in secondary school as aeronautic engineering,
Mm,
and like that's the story. But when we saw, should I say, is it tuition? No, not tuition. There are just some few selected universities that offer those courses. Then, no, I wanted to travel and back to back denial of
yeah.
visa, and we had to take counsel and change to medicine and surgery. Now, I wanted to do medicine and surgery again, and you know what JAMB used to do. So, so I found myself doing health education, public health. So, and I think that also has contributed strategically to, I think, almost everything, not just MAI Foundation. You can see my other engagement like the UNF, like CYMG, contributed like to the health sector. I've been about it. So, just like how we're having the World Health Summit in coming days, part of my experience through my education I also play like the background. So definitely that's contributed because we also have a global medical and health team. So the background also like contributes to that aspect because we can like everything is interlinked. When we talk about poverty, it's about education, it's about health, it's about finance, it's about peace. So it's all interlinked. It's not just lack of finance, not just lack of money. So everything just contributes as an holistic package and tool to creating this sustainable change for all. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that you envision yourself having a career in public health, or when you're doing university, do you think it's going to be the MIA Foundation all the way?
All right. So this, I think, let's just be optimistic. Even myself, let's just be optimistic. But definitely, you will see the foundation even going on more larger platforms, and also Bolycthier. I've not talked about Bolycthier throughout
Would you like to
this
speak
show.
about it? Why exactly? It's a kind of like a fashion brand, from what I understand.
Yeah, a luxury fashion brand um, from Nigeria. And soon, let's be optimistic. Let me transfer the same optimism from May Foundation. Soon we'll be in the same market with LVMH, Dior,
Oh,
Givenchy,
amen.
Balenciaga. I'm like, amen, amen. So it's a fashion brand, and just like the way I'm passionate about empowering other people and like collaborating, networking with other people, I'm also passionate about like fashion. Also, so so it's a luxury brand. Which one unique thing about us is that we're not just focused on sports, we're not just focused on luxury. So we're going to feature a collection of both sports, luxury, casual, footwear, apparel, accessories, all together, and it's also it has like a social impact side because just like we there, the name means life for everyone. So it's not just about profit. Also, we also try to include CSO in our initiatives for Bolcythier. So definitely, you'll see more from Bolcythier. And if possible, maybe if you meet in Lagos, you can get a free match of Bolcythier. So yeah.
Okay. So Bolycthier, I like the name already. Now that I know the meaning behind the name. So yeah, do you source for your clothes like personally? What's the process behind how you sell your clothes and make your clothes? Because once upon a time, I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. I thought that that was my career pathway. So I'm always very curious when every time I hear someone is interested in clothes and fashion design. So what would you say was the roots? Basically, how do you make your clothes? How do you source for them? How do you create everything?
All right. So First, I'll just talk about you before I talk about myself. So don't still give up concerning that it might be one of those big major things that you'd set up and you go global. So don't give up on that. So now about Bolycthier. So first, like I said earlier from the beginning, just like MAI Foundation, it starts with capacity building. The same year where I was getting my training for a non-profit organization, I was also getting training for like a brand. So I was taking courses from HP Life and courses from Harvard Business School. So I took courses like organizational leadership, effective leadership, and all of those courses like from Harvard and HP Life. So this contributed. So the first thing we did also was like creating a team. So I don't do all I do is design, like the creative director. So all other things, like there are other dedicated members that take care of that. So I have a member, and one thing also I brought my family member to be part of the board of directors, so they're able to take care of it and see it as a family business. So my brother is the, like source for material and all of that. Then we have like a global lead for for the branding and all of that, and for the production. And then we are currently trying to get someone for the marketing. So at the moment, yeah, so they are team dedicated for all of this task. And currently we're just about under 10, yeah, under 10. And soon we hope to scale it up and get more people on board and like push it out to African markets, to the global market. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I've been a bit curious, and I think the people who will be listening would also be a bit curious. As a young person, how would you say you've been able to find people? I know that God has really guided you a lot in terms of being able to reach out to people far beyond your reach. But for a young person, I know there are a lot of young people who have a lot of ideas, right? And they just don't know where to start from. So personally, I would say the first thing is prayer from my point of view. But is there any other advice or tips you give to young people who want to start, but they're not really sure how to start? And how can basically the internet help them with that?
All right. My own, it starts with prayer. It starts with prayer. So from the place of prayer, like if you want to, like it's a kind of a transaction thing. If you don't want to be mediocre, you don't want to be in the middle. Those that are blowing up like through the devil agenda, they're on this side. Those that are blowing up through God's agenda,
But
they're
yeah.
on this side. So you have to choose one. If
Mm,
except you want to be like just like every other person, then you can now choose the middle, either hot or cold. But if you
mm,
want to be on fire, global scale, you have to choose one. You either have to propagate Satan's agenda or propagate God's agenda. So if you want
mm.
to be on God's agenda, you have to start with receiving what He wants, not what you want.
You want.
And that is one piece of prayer. What God wants for your life, not what you want for your life. Because what you want is below standard. That's what I've discovered.
Yeah,
Whatsoever it is that you might have dreamt of, is still even not up to 1% of what God has for you. Because He
definitely.
has even much larger, greater things than you. So I believe you start with prayer first. And one thing, don't go to God like prayer is a communication. It's not a request where you go to Target or ShopRite or Walmart and just place demands. That's not what prayer is. Prayer is a conversation.
Yeah.
Lord, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? But one effective way I pray is praying in the Holy Ghost. That helps me a lot.
Um,
But someone that is just starting, you start as a conversation. Don't go and start saying, I have this by January, I have this by you. will come back again, come and list it again, come back again, come and list it again. Recently from AGS, I hope you know Apostle Joshua Selva. One way to speedily, like, because I follow him like every on the service. And one way to like get speedy answers is when you pray, like your requests are for kingdom advancement.
mm,
Like your request that's for souls, like it's attached. It's attached. I don't say the bribery, but you will get it. You will get it. As far as your request is attached, that souls are won. One way or the other, souls are won to your
mm,
request. Start from the place of prayer, get instructions, Your big vision start with one step. It's just one step. Once you take that one step, everything will just start falling in place. That's how it is. It's not that you have to go and raise fund, collect loan. Just start with one step. It might be creating an Instagram account. That might be your own step. Might be creating a LinkedIn account. That might be your own step. Might be reaching out to someone already in that space that has gone a bit, like to an extent, has gone to an height, to an extent. Reaching out to the person on how can I to be like a mentee or something like that.
Mm.
That might be one step. So it might be different steps that you would need. And you must also know that your journey is unique.
Yeah.
You must never compare yourself with anybody. Your journey is very, very unique. That's why you must always receive from God. I think this should help someone that's starting. Yeah, start with this first because there are a lot. Because just like AGS, if I continue, it will just turn to a teaching. I hope soon I should have a master class or something like that. Conference
Mm.
where it will not be a foundation, it will not be Bolcythier, it will just be Ayomide Iwalaiye master class and
I'll be
soon,
looking
soon.
forward to it.
Yeah.
I think personally, with my own work with God, the way it works is that God, sometimes I can be sleeping and God puts something in my heart. So I've realized that
Exactly.
I always need to have, usually I have a journal in close proximity to me when I sleep
Yeah.
because God brings up the way God, my relationship with God has been over the years is that I can be sleeping and then God literally brings something to my heart and I
It's something.
must focus on that thing. If not, it's going to disappear. Like as soon as it enters into my spirit, I'm like, okay. For example, the youth have a voice. My dad's a pastor. I was in church, and then that was when the name came to me. I didn't know exactly what God wanted me to do with the name, but the name, the youth have a voice, that was how it came to my spirit. So I remember even in church, as I was writing, like I had to type out the name, do you have a voice? So I was like, okay, it's still church time. Let me just meditate on it. Do you have a voice? Do you have a voice? What exactly does God want me to do with this name? So as I started praying and asking God for what exactly He wants, that was how the idea of this podcast began. It's definitely going to go bigger than this, but this is where God has led me for now in terms of how far, even though He's already told me some of the other plans which I've been building behind the scenes, but that was basically how this podcast came to be. I was in church and God laid the youth have a voice in my head. Honestly, when I was confused when I heard it, I was like, what does this even mean? So I remember I have a notebook where I list all my plans and all my ideas and things that God tells me to do. So I have a prayer journal. I have a mind map journal where I just list everything that I tend to do based on what God has instructed me to do. So yeah, I think going from the place of prayer definitely helps young people when before they start anything. And yeah, as you said, there's the God side, there's the devil side. You have to choose one. You cannot be a lukewarm Christian. Yeah,
It's not just a lukewarm Christian, a lukewarm human.
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 But I mean, Christianity is a way of life, right?
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Human. For
Okay.
all human, regardless of your background, you have to be on one side.
Mm.
Just have to be on one side, regardless of your religion, because religion has kind of blinded a lot of people. You have to still be on one side, either on God's side or the devil's side.
Yeah.
Also, if that's I'm sharing this to someone that will be watching this now. That if Feolami does not like, if she didn't take that action, I won't be on this call today. You won't be
Mm.
watching this. Will you get back and go and take that action now?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yes.
Stop procrastinating, everyone who's listening to this. Listen to
Yeah.
what God is telling you. You don't know where you could be in the next 6 months, 1 year from what God has told you to do. So always act on it. I think one of the very first episodes I did, if not the first episode, I spoke about how I see or how I envision procrastination. So when you get an idea, right? I believe that God leaves that idea with you. And either you act on it or it moves on to the next person. So God can leave an idea with you for 1 year, and then one day you can just realize that that idea has moved on to someone else. So basically, because you were delaying the fact that you feel you don't have the capacity to push the idea forward, keep on saying you don't have this, you don't have that, you keep on delaying, and then one day you realize that that idea you had that you thought was really unique, it has moved on to someone else, and they have been able to push forward what you thought was really unique to you. So basically, God has empowered someone else with that idea. That's how I believe that ideas work, for
That,
example.
that's That's like the story of the talent. One
Yes,
get two, one. Yeah.
yes,
If you don't get rid of it, you
exactly.
just collect like one that already has.
So my final question for you is, how have you been able to manage your time? I think that for some people, even though that they want to achieve so much, they just don't know how to plan out or manage out everything they do. So, what have personally been some of your time management strategies that have helped you to achieve some of the things you have achieved?
All right. I think this will be hard for some people to do. Like, I'm sure definitely there are some people that do more than me, more than I do. But what I currently do, I think to be kind of hard for some people. So like, I think I mentioned something like 10 hours straight doing the
Yes,
GLS.
yes, I
So
remember. It's not very healthy though.
not very early, but you just have to. So same thing like that every day. So how am I able to have a 10-hour stretch if I've not been doing that like that? So you don't just wake up one day and then you want to go for one and 10 hours stretch walking. So for my time management, I would say it's work, 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 work. I'd say it's work. And and because I'm in my final, so I don't have a lot of courses. I just have like one. And so I've just been work from morning till night, working. And also contribute. Now, apart from MAI Foundation and Bolycthier, you can see other organizations where I'm global coordination team, global, so I still have to contribute. I still have a lot of mails like, to respond to because of
Hmm.
GLS. I have a lot of WhatsApp chats to contribute to. I hope, do you know Yongo UNFCCC?
Um,
Yongo.
no,
Have
I
you heard
don't
of
know
it?
this.
Oh, it's the youth, like we are like the youth representative for climate discussion at the global level. You must have seen COP28 in Dubai. I
Yes,
think it was kind of popular. So
yes, it
we are
was.
like the youths. So I'm also privileged to be like one of the global coordination team for Yongo. And basically, I don't kind of have like free time for recreation. And I think my recreation are watching movies or my hobby. So anytime I just want to like I've worked from Monday to Friday at least 12 hours per day. Like for the weekend, Saturday, I'll just like from the like 8 a.m. to like 12, I'll just watch movies.
Hmm.
And sometimes I might never have time to watch movie. I work from Monday to Sunday. So to be a global change maker, it's not very easy at all. It's not very easy. So seeing those billionaires from their private jets, seeing those sports uh, people that are going global, they worked hard. Now I'm just realizing I shared with one of the state reps, like the Lagos state reps for the foundation. We had a discussion yes, and I told him that man, those people you see on TV, those people you see on like that they've gone global and they've gone big. They didn't just get there by just sleeping around. They worked hard for it. And I'm seeing the same thing. You
Yeah.
have to work hard. It's like a transaction. It's like when you want to get a Range Rover or a G Wagon, you have to have this certain amount. You can't just bring 1 million or 2 million and say not to buy it. That's like theft. So you have to pay the whole full price.
Yeah.
And the full price is not easy at all. You have to work. You have to work hard. So whosoever is listening, get ready to work hard. Get ready to keep late nights, like to work around the clock. Like it even got to an extent, I think last year or a few months ago, that I don't even know whether it's morning or afternoon or middle of the night. I'm just walking stretch. I don't even have whether like I now change time zones. I don't even know whether I'm in the morning in Nigeria or I'm in because I also like have communications meetings with a lot of people from across the globe. So I don't even know whether I'm in Nigeria anymore. Like my physical body is in Nigeria, but I'm all over the place. So both middle of the night working, afternoon working, evening working. I
Hmm.
missed school. I missed all of these 20 organizations. So you just have to work. Just have to work. So yeah.
I think to balance it out as you work, you should also know your limits, right? Because what works for you may not work for everyone else. So I
Not work
work
for
very late
everyone. Yeah.
nights also when I have to do some of the things I need to get done. But I also would say that balancing is also important in order for you not to get burnout or in order for you not
Yeah,
to
fine.
get overwhelmed. Because sometimes if you overwork yourself, if you're sick, you can't do anything, right? Definitely you need to definitely you need to have definitely you need to make sacrifices, right? But I would also say to balance it out, you also need to know your limits. So
I
I would
would also
also,
like to. Okay, you can
yeah,
talk.
sorry, I would also advise you so that you don't get like really stressed out because I feel like what you're doing is really unhealthy. So try to have a balance. I don't think it's really healthy to say that you don't have a balance between day and night. I don't think it's healthy at all. Personally, I
All
feel
right.
it's not
I
healthy.
would, all right. I would also, because it's a fireside chat, I would also add that it's according to individuals concerning
Mm,
this. So I would
okay.
say it's according to, because when they, I'm not comparing myself to Daddy Gio has done a lot. When they asked Daddy Gio that, why are you still traveling the globe? Why are you still waking up every middle of the night for prayer walk around the camp? He said, we would rest in heaven.
Wow.
So I would say it's not like, if you want to go beyond, you have to also pay beyond. So it's not for
Mm,
everyone. It's just a few people that can do this. So I know, don't let me say it's unhealthy, but God help me to balance it. I'll give you updates on that.
okay.
So yeah.
So as we round up, I want to know what's next? What are your next plans that you can't share? Because obviously I know you can't share everything that you're working on. But what can we expect from you in the next coming months or days? What's coming up?
All right. Um, so first, I'll start with GLS. So GLS, we we had a plan that we don't just want it to be like every other summit where we just, because something like COP28, about 70,000 people came to Dubai, and
Mm,
after we're done, we just talk. After we're done, everybody traveled to their respective countries, and it's like we just came for ceremony, and that was all. So I don't, we don't want GLS to be like that. So at the moment, we are creating like a post-summit strategy, like a
okay.
mentorship program to be specific. So an application form for mentors will be sent out soon, and for mentees, and we would match make, like we'll create a matchmaking process. All right. So we've set up a post-summit strategy, which is a mentorship program, like a mentor and mentee matchmaking program. So we're going to select mentors from the speakers and moderators, and then the mentees from either the general public or from the delegates. So this was what was discussed yesterday, and alongside a social media campaign or a challenge rather of how people have taken action after the summit, like a post-summit action, to share their actions, like to spur other actions across other regions. So these are the two major post-summit strategy after GLS. But now to MAI Foundation programs, we have the World Health Summit coming up in UK in August. So kindly watch out for that. You can also be a part of it as planning team member or speaker or moderator. So it's going to be an hybrid, so virtual and physical in London. And the African Sustainability Week. We are the host for West Africa Sustainability Week last year. So this year we hope to scale it up also with the organizations to Africa Sustainability Week in Abuja, and where other delegates will also flying. Then I think I mentioned 2025 GLS in Washington
Yes.
DC.
In
You
Washington,
can see
yeah.
we are aiming we are aiming to the space. We're not just aiming high. We're aiming to the space. And we just hope God help us to just accomplish all of this. And because just with this few, um, I don't want to say achievement, but just with this few entrustments, I see it like as that. Just with this, you can see a lot of young people that have been inspired, have been impacted to create like an action, sustainable action in their local regions. If we go in depth to measure, like to evaluate what GLS has done, it has gone very wild. Like a lot of just on LinkedIn. Currently we have over 2,000 reach and impressions, and 20,000, sorry, over 20,000,
Wow.
just 20,000. Not to talk about other platforms. So we believe our upcoming events also will impact more people. And apart from just events, conference, summit programs, we also have like major strategic approach and actions that reach out to underrepresented communities directly, like without like 41 chapters. They are majorly from the global south. So we have programs set up to reach out to communities specifically, like because we're focused on reducing extreme poverty, and one of our strategies is using education. So we've created a strategy of mobile school, which we'll be launching soon. We've created an apprenticeship program also, which will be launching. So what for the apprenticeship program? This is the idea. We're going to find, we're going to start as a contact point in getting NGOs, private sector, if possible, even your organization, and a number of them, and find potential interns, potential apprentices, and just matchmake them, like just bring them together and just create opportunities for young people across the region. So we're starting with Nigeria, Ghana, and some other West Africa and African countries. All of these programs. Also, we should also look out for the Global Learn to Earn Academy. The Global Learn to Earn Academy is a 3 months intensive training program that will focus on digital literacy, financial literacy, foreign exchange literacy, like to teach on foreign exchange, to teach on building wealth, because just like the title, learn to earn. So the academy is digital marketing skills and all of that. So major these are overview. This is not like in depth, but still watch out for some in depth, like some of the programs that I myself I don't know yet might just show up. That's one funny and interesting thing that used to happen. I was like, all right, just do whatever you want to do. I'm available. So sometimes what you are seeing is what I'm seeing also. I'm just the vessel. So sometimes I'm even amazed. I'll just look back and like, wow. So we did this. Like wow. So glory to God for that. So just this year is going to be um it's going to be very big and massive. Yeah. Also look at I just became, glory to God, through the opportunity of GLS. I just became a board of director for Afro Money Week. So look out for Afro
Congratulations.
Money Week. Yeah, yeah, glory to God. So look out for Afro Money Week Dubai, Afro Money Week UK, Scotland, Afro Money Week Nairobi. So MAI Foundation also be one of the strategic partners for this event. So yeah,
Congratulations. Ayomide,
thank you
it's
for
been a pleasure having you on my podcast today. I've
that.
definitely learned a lot from you. And I am really looking forward to what you're going to be doing. I definitely feel we'll definitely be working together more often. I'm really happy to have met you. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. I have learned. I'm sure so many people are going to be impacted by this episode because I've been able to learn so much. And you're so confident in yourself and your abilities and your relationship with God. And I think that's definitely going to help you continuously strive towards greatness. So I'd like to thank you once again for joining my podcast today.
My honor to be here. Thank you very much also for the privilege. I do not take any interview or any collaboration for a joke. It's a privilege myself to be here. So thank you also for having me.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll be linking Ayomide's social media profile in the link, as well as the MIA Foundation LinkedIn page and website. So if you'd like to connect to Ayomide after this podcast, you can also connect with him. So thank you very much for watching the Youth Have a Voice podcast. Once again, my name is Feolami Joseph, and I have been your host. And I will see you in our next episode. Make sure to share with your family members and friends, and make sure to follow us on social media, including our Instagram page. And you can also follow us on College Guide Africa on our different platforms, which will all be linked in our bio. Thank you so much, and I will see you in our next episode. Goodbye.